following is a recreation of a conversation previously held. Holy crap, Akati. Sorry, dear. I didn't mean to scare you. I've been trying to get through to you for days. All of the Greek gods have been mostly radio silent since baby girl was born. Have you seen my sign? Well, I know you've been here. I've felt your presence. I know you haven't left. Communication, though, is like constant static. That's very peculiar. I know you've been in high-stress situation after high-stress situation, and you know I work just fine under pressure. Could you be recalibrating? I'm sorry, what? The place you were living was a very highly toxic environment in many ways. You know what? That actually makes a lot of sense. And as a psychic vampire, that shit will linger in your energetic system unless you flush it out. Good thing I was able to grab some of my witchy accoutrement. Now that we've done some purging and banishing, have a taste of Kentucky. Bourbon in a mason jar. I always have a stash specifically for offering and ritual. Suffice it to say I already had it. You amuse me. Evan Williams, you have held on to that for a while. And now I don't know what to talk about. What's that over there? You mean that? That was a gift. Met up with a follower earlier today so they could give it to me. I guess it was already theirs, they just didn't have any use for it. And wouldn't you know it, but Hecate was right on top. I do have a way of getting people's attention. Yeah, you can say that again. What do you mean? Have you ever been to a place? Excellent Super Eye Patch Wolf reference. Everything in this town is liminal as fuck. Walking from the lobby to the cafeteria in the hospital. The random spooky TV that I had seen in dreams. My ex brought my son to visit the other day. We check out a courtyard playground just to find out it's closed, and there's nobody there. We go around the corner, it's like the back rooms of the hospital. I dropped off the U-Haul the other day, got turned around on my walk back, wound up going through an industrial area and a construction site where nobody was there. Raw, unmitigated, liminal vibes. Like I said, I have my ways. Before I forget. Yes'm? I am going to suggest that you reach out to Hestia as soon as possible. Not only is she the goddess of childbirth and families, she's still the goddess of hearth and home. We're literally in a hotel in between places. Uh-huh, which means you are currently in my domain. Thank the fates for that one. Speaking of, I'm going to also suggest that you touch base with Zeus. He's been very furious on your behalf and he wants to help. Especially since he helped throw out the eviction and now we're here anyway? Yeah, I can imagine. But it does help me feel better, thank you. And now that we're here, I plan on going nowhere. Let's get caught up in chat off screen. The following is a recreation of a conversation previously held. Evening, Your Majesty. Ethan, I haven't heard from you in weeks. I know, you and I have both been very busy. I'm sorry I knew that Shay was pregnant. I know, I forgive you. How do you just know things? Well, I didn't know it at the time, but hindsight's 20/20. And you already forgave me. Did you know the whole time? No, only like the last month. When we were facing eviction and dealing with a highly abusive roommate, that news then would have only made things worse. It was a difficult predicament to be in, being close to both you and Shay. What is that, stale Evan Williams? Why, yes, Queen Persephone, that's exactly what that is. I've been holding on to this bottle since July. And you consecrated it to be for offering. All due respect, let's get back to current events. Yeah, of course. I know this is the time of the year that you're getting ready to return to the underworld. I go into overtime after the equinox. Do you have any time to spare tomorrow? Well, rather, the morning? I can clear my schedule and be in multiple places at once. Cool, thank you. Because I'm sure you're aware I'm in a bit of a shitty predicament right now and I could use some help. Anything you need, I'll do my best. Well, I don't need you specifically, but I would greatly appreciate your company. I've got a few deities that I want to reach out to in the morrow, all hailing from your pantheon, and I feel your presence will help smooth things over. You speak as if you owe somebody money. Well, no, but for starters I want to talk to your dad. Oh yeah, he's been defining the term righteous fury. I would also like to talk to Hestia tomorrow, and as you know, I am not as well versed with her. That makes sense. On your behalf, she's been making my father look like a rookie. She's pissed. Not at you, of course, but that's putting it lightly. And if I have the time, I would like to reach out to Hermes and... Honestly, I'm not sure what to expect from that. But based on previous experience, I know that the banter between the two of you is hysterical. Speaking of, how's that dog bite doing? One of the 3 scabs finally just fell off nearly a month later. You probably needed stitches, though I'm glad to see that you're not rabid. Yeah, same honestly. That being said, do you think you have time tomorrow? I will make the time. Thank you, Queen Persephone. Of course, I could afford the time to do something else. That being said, I hope you don't mind that I ask for just a little bit of help keeping your husband out of this. No disrespect toward my husband, but it's probably for the best. Thank you, Queen Persephone. Now it appears that we've got work to do. Geronimo. The following is a recreation of a conversation previously held. Ethan, glad to see you in one piece. Now tell me, have you figured out who we're hurting first? Oh, King Zeus, I didn't realize I missed you. Are you hugging me? Don't worry about it. It's good for both of us right now. Yes, of course. Anyhow. Oh no, human affection, here. Ah yes, something I understand better. That being said, where do we start? I did know that she was pregnant. However, I could not see a single timeline where informing either of you would have made things better. Okay, same question as everybody else. Did you know the whole time? I'm the king of the gods, commander of fate, and I work closely with the Moirai. You knew they were getting ready to spin a new thread. The question was whose, so I did not know the entire time. And it's only been the last couple of months you came to trust me entirely. If you would have said anything, I would have called bullshit. And another thing that a lot of mortals don't understand is that in today's day and age, working on a world stage, it's not easy to work events unless we are asked directly. So there's only so much that you could have done. Precisely. Oh, I need a cigarette. So you and Samael were working together the entire time? On your behalf, very much so. But also in general, we are both the leaders of our respective pantheons, and something he and I agree on is that cooperation is key. That tracks and is honestly reassuring. It appears that there is something on your mind. Many things, yes, Deus. Most prominently, however, it looks like we're going to be here for a few weeks still. Is baby girl safe? For the most part, yes. There's a long road ahead, but recovery is still progressing. Good. That makes me happy to hear. We're currently actively looking into housing and getting that, let's just say it's a process, which means I'm gonna need to raise money for that as well as a vehicle, which means I'm gonna need a real job. What if we were able to make social media your job? I'd say that's the dream, but given my last 7 years in total, it feels like a pipe dream. So although it would be nice, I'm not putting all of my eggs into that basket. That is indeed a very wise mindset. However, the thingy is copied and pasted into the bio. Very interesting. Why so? I've seen what happens when you snap your fingers. I'm just gonna say thank you and leave it at that. So who are you talking to next? The plan is to contact Hestia next, however, I know how some deities like to intercept. Has somebody intercepted recently? Well, not on screen, but Odin and the Morrigan. Uh-huh. I think that helps answer one of my first questions. Enlightening. That informs me I need to revamp my wards. I would highly recommend it. And look at that. I see my path just a little bit more clearly. Looks like there's work to be done. The following is recreation of a conversation previously held. I feel as if I'm skipping ahead in this turnstile. Oh, King Belial. Why yes, mortal companion, it's me. Weren't you supposed to talk to Hestia next? I did, but it was off-screen. I'm gonna need some time to process that into a video. You know what? That makes sense. I told you that slurping privileges were revoked. All right. Fine. King Belial. Human Ethan. I know you're trying to make me laugh, but today was a rough day. Yeah, I know it was. Which is why I'm trying so damn hard. And I do appreciate the attempts. Well, I'm glad that you at least understand what I'm trying to do. Well, obviously, I understand a bit when I see one. Although I am not offended by any means. What brings you my way anyway? Well, behind the scenes, I've taken the time to commune with several different divine beings. I would be more surprised if you hadn't. Although I am well and good and comfortable with King Paimon, by the evidence that is presented, I feel as if you've spent some time with him already this evening. It appears to me that you're my best option. Option for what exactly? Removing obstacles and getting me to where I need to be. Your content productivity has taken a downturn. And in spite of content, I still need a job, a house, and a vehicle. And you think I can provide those things? Nay, I know that you can. In the very least, aid toward those end goals. Well, you've already provided me plenty of green apple. What would you like in return? Your faith. I'm sorry, what? Your faith in me. And to what end? You know me, you know my lore. You know what I'm capable of. Anything you set your mind to. Uh-huh. What's in it for you in the long run? The satisfaction of knowing that I can. But this is where the real caveat entails. For better or worse, good, bad, and ugly, I am one of your students. And there are things beyond this threshold of which I can teach you. So let me get this straight. You are willing to help me. And in return, I want you to be my student again. To that end, I agree. But if you fail, I'm out. Deal. The following is a recreation of a conversation previously held. Belial, what have you been doing? What have I been doing? Fucking with my things? Fucking with your things? Are you? What I wouldn't give to have some popcorn for this right now. Oh, god damn it! You made a deal with Ethan last night, didn't you? She agreed! Don't make me raise my voice. The fuck is that supposed to mean? Who are the adults in the room? The fallen angels and other deities. And you know what Ethan's going through. I'd expect a king to be more mindful. Taking a deep breath, because I'm not used to getting caught with my pants down. Don't you and I have an agreement to speak with each other first before crossing contracts? Which means the deal didn't go through. I don't mean to continue scolding you, but were you aware that Ethan has been working the Hemoth with Namar? I was not aware, no. And imagine if while doing that work, Ethan slipped into Darth. It would turn out terribly. I'm not saying you can't help because you're very capable and very competent, which makes me wonder why the slip this time. Your guess is as good as mine. I wish I had something to add to the conversation, but honestly, I'm just thoroughly entertained. I'm sorry that this is how your morning is starting, Ethan. And let no mistake be made of it. The one without master is still without master. But your situation is a very serious one. And mistakes have been made in the past in your history with us. And I'm seeing to it that history doesn't repeat. And although I am very embarrassed, his points are well seen. Well, now that we're all here, can we do something about my page's dip in productivity? As well as the curious case of some videos not wanting to play properly for some people? Or is that strictly algorithmic? We've already been working on it. That is why I jumped at the chance to help last night. But in order to ensure the success of an outcome like this, it helps having terms and conditions. And that much I'm very aware of. Regardless, I'm clearing up my schedule so I can be closer to the situation. All due respect, you're already pretty close. And yet you're running around like a headless chicken reaching out to multiple different deities. Which isn't a bad thing, it's how you create your own safety nets for yourself. And in my ideal situation for you, it should be a want, not a need. Honestly, I do appreciate that. And regardless, it has been a little fuzzy, should I say, trying to make contact with any deity outside of this immediate circle, Namar and Paimon notwithstanding. So it might just be better to focus on what's directly in front of me anyhow. Honestly, that's probably wise. Stretching yourself too thin, you can get hurt. Well, the only thing I've got planned for my day-to-day is try to make money, go see baby girl, and maybe tidy up this room. Perfect, that means I can get to work. But what was that snap for? To redirect people to the thingy in your bio. I still have hopes for your future, which means it's my duty to provide you a path that gets you there. You know what, I'll take it. Because wherever it is you're taking me, it appears to be better. That is undoubtedly my intention. The following is a recreation of a conversation previously held. Hello, dearie. How have you been? Exhausted, to say the least. Gotta wonder though, King Paimon, why do you ask? I haven't heard directly from you in a couple of days. Oh, that is tart. Yeah, it's got a zing that blue Kool-Aid doesn't. Otherwise, it's about the same flavor. Is that blue raspberry lemonade? No, honestly, I don't know. Oh yeah, probably. I see that you've gotten camels and something blue. The only thing missing is myrrh incense. Not to parrot King Belial, but I don't know where your accent came from. So I see we are here to simply shoot the shit. King Paimon, do you know how difficult it is to go over our history? It is far more than can be contained in one video alone. But I gotta say, your energy is magnificent. Very intuitive for me to be able to work with. Intuitive is not a phrase that you use often. Intuition is just another psychic ability these days. I work more off of instinct. It's raw, it's primal, it's to the point. It doesn't bullshit you. Yes, however, the question is, how well are you able to listen to your own intuition? What did bring you my way this evening anyhow? Thanks to a friend of mine, another creator here, Ruben, was able to do a type of reading for me. Ah, yes, as I am already aware. 2019 was a really bad time for me. I went through genuine psychosis, and yet your presence was there. I did my best to try and be there for you, though it wasn't easy. You pretended to be Bashar, the extraterrestrial channeled through Daryl Anka. It was a likeness that I had available to me in which you were able to perceive me. You guided me. You taught me how to keep grounded. And in the midst of everything, you taught me how to channel. If it wasn't for you, the videos that I do here wouldn't exist. Are you certain that it was me? And do you good day. You can only do that when I'm nearby. Which means you were there for a long time beforehand as well. Down Huckling Street, where shadows wander, they sweep the wall, they crawl and crawl to kiss the light. In 2012, there was one evening, I sat on my grandmother's patio hanging out with a few friends. We were partaking in hookah, surfing through the internet, trying to scare the piss out of one another that fine spooky evening. You had just started your journey into genie research, and you were there. I've been there for a long time, dearie. Yet don't allow me to get sentimental now. You did teach me one valuable lesson. Which would be? The difference between a villain and a supervillain is presentation! And you consistently execute that lesson beautifully. So do we go past 3 minutes or what? Those who need to see this will see it regardless. Well, now that we're here, I don't know what the hell to talk about. And this is the problem that I have every time. I want to delete the videos. It feels nonsensical. Like it's gonna be difficult for others to connect with it. Does every video that you make need to connect? Well, I suppose not. Is it not your goal to entertain? You think this video is entertaining? My dear human, you would be surprised. Alright, well, since we're here, thanks to my friend and Ruben, something I already knew was confirmed for me. Which would be? King Hades had nothing to do with my soul creation. I see, I see. And how do you feel about that? Insurmountably relieved. My question is, what the fuck am I supposed to do with that? Do you think that King Cotonios holds a monopoly on what that sigil means? No, not by a long shot. Oh, I see. It's the last shred of connection you had to him. Yeah, exactly. So allow me to rephrase. How do I finish disconnecting it? It's a key. You're not the first person to tell me that. A key to what, though? You already know the answer, dearie. What does the planet Pluto represent? The death brought by transformation, metamorphosis. The end of things brought on by change. It's the key to transmutation. As well as many other things, however. It's literally the key of alchemy. Brava! And with my skill and psychic vampiric energy work, you already have the knowledge and know-how to put it to use. This isn't the turn I thought we were gonna take. No, but I'd love to help you if you'd allow me. Say no more, King Paimon, you're in. The following is a recreation of a conversation previously held. If I were to invite you to walk an adversarial path, what would you say? How pretentious. And why would that be your response? I'm an adversary. Or, I'll walk the adversary's path. Sounds a whole lot like somebody revving the engine on their oversized truck. Alright then. If I were to ask you to consider yourself Luciferian, what would you say? Those who speak don't know. Those who know don't speak. Please enlighten me. If I were to call myself Luciferian, I would be handing others a box to put me in. However, I have spent a probably unhealthy amount of time studying and researching witchcraft, magic, paganism, occult history, and I share that information for free. So you're saying you already are? I'm saying you could call me that and it wouldn't be inaccurate. But the preconceived notions on what that title comes with would lead people astray. I like the way that you think. Thank you. That's a compliment coming from you. If I were to ask you to take me as your master and mentor, why should I take a knee? In order to benefit from something I can do on my own. Aside from my grin, I must ask for a clarifier. Your presence in my life isn't a necessity. It is a choice. One that is bound by a deal, a handshake. That way we are both good on our end of the bargain. And in that, we both benefit. And I think our history has shown that you're going to be around regardless. Might as well utilize what's right in front of me. Also, you're my favorite anti-villain in all of mythology. Now for an observation before my next question. When you work with other deities, oftentimes it seems that you draw power from them. Not in all instances, but go on. And I do that a lot less in the last couple of years. And yet you've never asked that of me. It's not what I want out of you. I want help and to learn. I don't need your power or to borrow it. That's never been the nature of our relationship. Now, what if I were to tell you that the power you seek in others already exists within yourself? I don't seek power, I seek permission slips. Because you're correct. But when certain deities are around me, it reminds me of the power I've already cultivated. Rather, I should say the skills I've already learned. Are you saying that you don't need others? No, not at all. Of course I need others. But to say I need this person specifically is to surrender my own agency. Working with deities, or spending time with somebody that I love, should be a choice. Desire isn't desire if it lacks free will. What is wickedness? This is a tough one. The perversion of a set of rules, typically spiritual, often mistaken as moral. Therefore, the wickedness of some is the fruit of others. Wouldst thou like to live deliciously? I still don't know what that's supposed to mean, Samael. Oh, then what is it you truly desire? The financial security to know that I've finally made it, and to know that it was at my own merit. That's the first time you've answered that directly and to the point. And I'm proud of you, because it shows that you've come a long way. I mean, thank you, but I'm still not sure how I'm gonna get there. Play this video back to yourself, and you might start to get some ideas. The following is a recreation of a dream sequence previously experienced. Alright then, maybe I need sleep. Okay, fuck that. Good evening. That wasn't offering? What the fuck is going on? Okay, this is extra spooky. Either I'm being fucked with or I'm Ming. Duly noted. Suspicion confirmed. Master Ethan. Would you care to join me? Excuse you. What the? Are you entirely with it? Frankly, I can't say that I am. Who are... Oh, come on! Ding! 1 point for this encounter. What? Although that's not exactly an apple, the answer to my identity will be sorted out shortly. Forgive me for my impatience. That shift was palpable. Hello, dear. Lilith, what the fuck is going on? It'll make sense in a moment, I promise. What the fuck? I am sorry. Explain yourself. Excuse you both. Proceed. Oh, God damn it. Have you discovered my identity? No, can't say that I have. However, you are distinctly infernal. And if I didn't know any better, I would say we were once a Canaanite deity. So far, so good. My first guess is King Baal, first spirit of the Goetia. But given the presence of Samael and Duke Astaroth, I'd almost assume that you were Beelzebub. You're a smart one, I'm sure you'll figure it out. May I? Yeah, go for it. King Baal, once upon a time known as Baal Hadad, storm deity, enemy of Yahweh. Also a god of crops and agriculture, because that was what the storm brings. Go on. Patron god of Ekron, but doesn't that still make you Baal-Zebub, which then got transcribed as Beelzebub. Beelzebub, the lord of the flies, because you were the dung heap in which your followers followed around. What's the problem? I've spoken with Beelzebub previously. You are not he. What a conundrum you find yourself experiencing. All of the evidence points to myself being King Baal and simultaneously Beelzebub, which means there's been an imposter. Do you know why the Infernal like you? Demons appreciate you, Ethan. You circumvent contemporary grimoires. Why is your accent the same as King Paimon? Open your eyes. You research history. You aren't hung up on hatred toward the Christian God. I try not to be. And why is that? It would cloud my judgment. Deities aren't the problem, people are. Christianity is a creation of humans. And what happens when entire belief structures are created as a middle finger toward human intervention? Entire belief structures are built on human hubris. And what then would happen when there isn't space for Beelzebub and Baal Hadad to be one and the same? Then two separate entities would be made separate from that. One Beelzebub and one Baal Hadad. Excellent. It appears to me that you are just about ready. What is that you're holding there? The thing that escaped out of you. It's been there for far too long. It looks like the Venom symbiote. So that's what you see. Interesting. All due respect, what the fuck is going on? You're being initiated. Into what? In time, all will be revealed. In the meantime, get rest. Well, that's just fucking peachy, isn't it? You know? Yeah, Why? The following is a recreation of a conversation previously held. Since you appear to still be here, King Baal, aren't you supposed to speak in a raspy voice? And I'm not before you in the likeness of a cat or a toad either. No, but you have the same accent as Paimon and it's throwing me off. I am Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots. Is that better? Alright, Orion Pax. I accept you as King Baal, but as I told you, I've met Prince Beelzebub and you are not he. Rather, he is not me. Okay, that's gonna slip into the Zeus voice real quick. Would this be better? In the very least, you as King Baal gives me a starting point. And in my mind's eye, I see that #1 sigil emblazoned on your chest. Interesting, you can sense those things. I've been doing this for a long time, and I did start with demons. How are you feeling today? Burnt out and just a tad bit lethargic? Then again, it is a day that ends in Y. Where does my name come from? Let me find a piece of paper. Baal is a French translation of this word, Baal. Because you see, the Grimoire tradition was very popular in medieval France. Hell, Eliphas Levi was French. Indeed. Baal literally means Lord. It's an honorific for Canaanite deities. We have examples here such as Baal Hadad and Baal-Zebul. Baal-Zebul later being transliterated as Beelzebub. Baal-Zebul means Lord Prince, which is why some argue that Baal Hadad and Baal-Zebul are not two separate entities, but two names for the same deity. So what appears to be the hang-up? Do you know how many deities were referred to as Baal? Not only do we have a host of higher-ranking Canaanite deities, we also have the generalized term for a type of spirit that were masculine, counter to the Ashtoreth, which were feminine spirits. Similar to incubi and succubi, the main difference is that they were warfaring spirits, inciting violence. And from your research, I could be any one of them. Probably their leader, who most likely is Baal Hadad, who I don't know for certain is Beelzebub. And you have personal bad history with the one that you know as Beelzebub. Correct. May I ask why? That is a series of long stories one video cannot contain. Then off-screen, perhaps. All due respect, what makes you so interested? I've waited until the right time to approach you. The right time is now. What a glorious non-answer. You need help. Lord Samael and I agree that I can. And yet I know little to nothing about you specifically. What an excellent time to learn. With what time do I have? You'll never know if you don't put the first foot forward. Color me just curious enough. But I need to ask everybody to please consider supporting the channel, and please show me where to start. The following is a recreation of a conversation previously held. Oh, King Paimon and Mr. Tackle. I appreciate the hug, but this is different. King Bael entered the chat. Yes, I'm thoroughly aware. I want your help. My help? With King Bael? Yeah, why is that surprising? It's not. I just feel a little privileged is all. But before I get carried away... Of course, dearie, fire away. I was doing some crash research on you. You already know plenty on me. Yes, but reminders don't hurt. Amongst the reasons that you are good at what you do. Don't fluff my butthole too much, listen. Of course. How are you with necromancy? I am experienced, but it's not my forte. Why do you ask? You rule the cardinal direction of the west, and there are many that have pointed out that courtesy of this being where the sun sets, many cultures associate the west with the land of the dead. I feel that some scholars treat other cultures as a monolith, but I digress. Of course, because certainly Egypt and Mesopotamia are not all cultures, though some mortals would like to convince you otherwise, but I'm getting petty. So there are many that conclude that you know necromancy. Dearie, I am skilled in all the arts. To say that I don't know necromancy would be erroneous, but I am not a deity who presides over it. Thank you, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Color me curious. Which means your cardinal direction indicates something else. Ah, yes, I could have told you that. That's why you're asking me. You're asking me directly. That means that you've come a long way. Suffice it to say, I've been exercising a little bit of faith recently. A little bit of faith has been getting me a long way. Is that why you agreed to work with King Bael? A little bit, sure. Mostly I'm curious, why do you two have the same accent? We don't. It's the way that you're interpreting us. So what would this mean to you? That you're both kings, you're a part of the same order. Calling you the bourgeoisie might be a little rude. However, we are both a part of the infernal aristocracy. Well, that makes a lot of sense and is oddly comforting knowing that my own subconscious is still filtering these interactions. Why is that comforting? It's humbling. It helps me know that I'm not fucking crazy. Understood. And respected. Your accents aren't identical. No, but similar enough. That being said, though, what the fuck is going on? Many things, of course. Okay, specifics. Duke Astaroth has also been hanging around. And how do you feel about the Duke? Conflicted, but I can't say that I didn't miss them. So what's the problem? I've been doing this a long time. Either they're deliberately stretching me too thin, or they are preparing me for something. Is that why you asked me to help you? Partly, but you've also earned my trust. We are running out of time. I will help with financial acuity. You speak to Astaroth. The following is a recreation of a conversation previously held. Tassa, Alora, Florin, Astaroth. Jesus H. Macy, it's been a while. Duke Astaroth! Ethan, are you alright? Yeah, it's just a very strong, energetic shift. As long as you're well, what can I do you for? Would you allow me the pleasantries? For me? But of course, who else? I'd be insulted if you didn't. Duke Astaroth, treasurer of hell, leader of the Inquisitors, head of the Infernal Armory. I appreciate a human that does their research. Don't act as if we don't have history, you and I. I wouldn't think such a thing. However, you've since deleted most of those videos. The pleasantries aren't only then on myself, I suppose. By no means. Let us start with this. You are a duke, are you not? That indeed I am. And yet many view you as femme-presenting. That entirely is up to those who perceive me. But could a woman not make a duke? And what would make the difference? I am not married to a duke. Therefore I am not a duchess. Therefore my crown is of my own merit. Duly noted, Grand Duke Astaroth. And why do you say it like that? Because no duke comes before you. As it is, you are a part of the original OG Evil Trinity, right alongside King Lucifer and Prince Beelzebub. Humans have a way of doing their own thing with their own interpretations. Is it inaccurate? No. Are you then Astarte and Nana or any of the above? In what way did you reach out to me? Through infernal invocation. Then I find those questions to be direly irrelevant. Why are you laughing? Because I fucking missed you. Huh. Can't say that is something that I am entirely accustomed to. Regardless, you've been in my dreams ever since King Bael stepped in. Guilty as charged. So is it by proximity or something more? You need help with money. You're by no means inaccurate there. Given my position and titles, I might be able to help. Why, thank you, I'd be greatly appreciative. That being said, your fate is turning. Let's get to work. The following is a recreation of a conversation previously held. It's been a long time coming. I'm coming back for you, my friend. Hello, darling. That's not the normal song you used to get my attention. No, but did it work? I'm here, aren't I? So are you orchestrating things or are you working with your dad on this? I'm sorry? What a response. I don't normally get asked that point blank. Alright then, well, hear me out. Staying at this hotel, I've made a couple of friends. You're a friendly sir. I'd be more surprised if you hadn't. You want to know what I've done with my evening thus far? Talking scripture with one of your friends. Believe it or not, yeah. That being said, he is devout. As I'm well aware, I am a witch who has made a deal with the devil. Your point is what exactly? He and I were seeing eye to eye. Surprising things can happen. When a human seeks relationship with my father and isn't told what to believe, is that not what brought me to you? Now you're understanding. Now here's the thing with that. Although he is not a go-to, every once in a blue moon, I find myself pointing to the sky, speaking to your dad directly, calling him a cheeky prick. So you have an odd relationship with him, to say the least. But here's the thing about it. I'm a witch, a pagan. Christian witchcraft as well as Christio-paganism both exist. And Big G isn't my god. And what God is? This seems incredibly counterintuitive coming from you, Lucifer. And what kind of adversary would I be if I was not myself going against the status quo? At the end of the day, I don't give a fuck what you do, so long as you're being your true self. And that true self leads you to your own divinity. Fair enough, your point is well seen. People think that I should hate my father, and although I undoubtedly have my grievances, we are, in the very least, co-workers. I'm willing to accept that much. And yet at the same time, I'm still working with your ilk. When you were a teenager, how did you rationalize appreciating demons? I was learning the dark side of the Force, that which is God. So what's the problem? I suppose there isn't one. I suppose that my confusion is this. Of all of the things that I'm doing, why is his presence suddenly so palpable? A question I've asked myself for millennia. So what, do you just get used to it, accept it, and defy him when I need to? Absolutely. Honestly, I didn't know how this conversation was gonna go. Did you think I was gonna chase him off or something? Honestly, I've got no idea. Well, since we've breached 3 minutes already, by all means, fire away. Many humans turn to the left path simply to defy my father, when the truth of the matter simply is, religions are made in his name, but it is more in the name of human proclivity than it actually is in divine ordinance. Humans use God as an excuse to get away with devious shit. And although he and I aren't exactly friends, I believe ultimately in the truth. And I believe in giving credit where credit is due. Which means do not blame any gods for that which isn't human intervention. How many times have you used the Bible for witchcraft? Countless. How many different traditions consider the Bible as a grimoire? More than I'm currently aware of. And your own ancestors, Ethan, have used it for exactly those means. Which indicates what exactly? That my father is well aware that some humans use his word in unconventional means. And if it be for their betterment, so be it. This is one of those times I feel like some people might need to hear it. And do you think that you aren't amongst those people? Honestly, for once, I suppose I am. Truth is stranger than fiction, yet oftentimes fiction is the lie that tells the truth. Why does it seem like that you're abdicating for your father? Why does it seem you are advocating for the perceived opinion of your audience? Touché. May I ask in this instance, what is your truth, Ethan? That to some extent all gods are real, and help may come from unconventional or unexpected sources. And yet all things, if applied as such, can be magical. Then could it be that when it comes to you, my father and I have a similar opinion? Adonai's not gonna stop me from working with demons. Why would he? You know, I've thought about it between takes, and I can't think of a single reason. And at the end of the day, who's in charge here? Well, myself, I suppose. Free will is the gift granted to all humans, and that is the one thing he and I can agree on. There's way more to this, isn't there? Dear Ethan, you have no idea. Then if your dad's not in my way, I don't see a problem. Which means there never was one to begin with. God, this is a different type of video. I've got no idea how to tie it off. Hi, if you're still here, thanks for listening. The thing is copied and pasted in the bio. Until next time, take care and much love, I suppose. The following is a recreation of a conversation previously held. Interesting. Queen Nama, bringing a hemoth to your hotel room? Yeah, it's quiet here. I got a question, though. Hopefully I'll have an answer. Are King Bael and Prince Beelzebub the same person? No, they're not. Didn't think that they were. Why do you ask? King Bael entered the chat recently, and I'm not sure how to feel about it. Pardon my French, but what the fuck? Have you not been in on the loop? That would first indicate that there is a loop. Alright, so get this. Twice now, Samael has told me to stay close to you. Yet in the last week, you and I have drifted apart. So this is you resetting energetically. In a manner of speak, sure. Also, my content was taking off. Now it's kind of lulled back down to a could be better, could be worse. But the worst performing content is the Deity interaction videos. That's backwards from the usual. So then I reach out to Paimon and Belial for help. And with either one of them, it's almost as if they're being blocked from helping. Which makes sense why I get directed to do Casteroth, being the treasurer of hell and all, but they direct me back to you. Huh. How did you know I liked Blue Moon? I didn't, actually. It was a gift. I've made a couple of friends staying in this hotel, and one of them was feeling generous. And I'm not much of a beer person, to be honest. But I do enjoy this when it's actually cold. Did you know in some context I am associated with blue moons? In the second full moon of the month, it was suggested to strengthen protections against me. Ha! What do you know? I think somebody's sending me a message, and currently it's loud and clear. What would that message be? That I need to not let you out of my sight. And with your invocations and your study on me here in this notebook, you have a direct line to me and my kingdom. This video is turning out shorter than I thought it would be, but it has given me ideas. If you like what we do here, please consider supporting the channel. Thanks to your generosity, I'm still alive. Thank you. You're deliberately pushing buttons. And I'm hoping that my audience will push mine. But you are correct. One way to test if there is a trap is to spring it. And I've already called in for backup. I already know. Never mind. That being said, I think it might be nigh time for a chat with King Bael and let him know how we do here. You don't think he's suspicious? No idea, but I also don't think he is privy to my history. He's doing the telltale first contact with a demon thing. And I want to find out whether or not he actually can help. The following is a recreation of a conversation previously held. Ayer Sakor Anka Bael. That's different. Oh, my ears! Much like the increase in pressure before an oncoming storm. Baal Zafan. I haven't heard that name in some time. Another name for Baal Hadad, Lord of Mount Zaphon, a mountain upon which you were worshipped quite uniquely. It is also said to be the place where Attar fell to after being cast from the throne of heaven. Another deity equated with Lucifer, but just because similar does not mean the same. I am impressed. You really have done your research. Yeah, I was determined to prove that you are not Beelzebub. Oh my god, this ear pressure. Oh, much better. Throughout the course of history, a lot of context winds up missing. And it is through the information that is left that we are able to infer what actually happened. Which is why history is of the utmost importance. And suffice it to say, it's worth considering that the biblical record of the deity known as Baal is not exactly historically accurate. Any Baal deity could be lumped up into one Baal identity, granting the illusion that there is only one. So when looking back in history from today's day and age, it might be easy to conclude that Baal Hadad and Baal Zebul are one and the same. Either you're incredibly stubborn, or for some reason you give a shit. Why can't it be both? The Infernal Divine exists as a collection of multiple different spirits, multiple different deities from multiple different religions. And if not for being immortalized in the infernal ranks, would have been forgotten to the sands of time. You deserve to be seen and heard. Drink? You are a pleasant human to know. Thank you. But do you know the first thing about me? Only that which your reputation garners. So you know nothing. Incredibly comfortable around demons, aren't you? And you're no ordinary demon. You're actually a god. Your words indicate that I should be insulted, but your demeanor suggests that it's a compliment. Oh yeah, you'll get used to that eventually. But that being said, Samael, you and he go way back, yeah? Since nearly the beginning. So you know that he is a master chess player. Admittedly, the best that I've met. Do you believe he's told you everything? Not for a single moment. Cool, so first things first. I understand why you did the first contact with deity introduction thing, but it made you look suspicious. Suspicious? Beelzebub is not my friend. And you trying to convince me almost put you on my shit list. You proceed to confuse me. I'm highly unconventional. Modeled myself after John Constantine and the Doctor. Pop culture references, okay. Are you actually willing to help? I meant it when I said that is why I'm here. Clearly you're very old school. Amongst the oldest. Do you know why I might be doing that? A combination of spiritual alchemy and psychic vampirism. Full Metal Alchemist. You made anime work magically. No, not quite. Anime did give me some inspiration to exercise the FAFO method. You're a magical tinkerer, using magic to blend fantasy with reality. I prefer to call it pop culture magic, but still. Chaos magic, that I understand. If you prefer to kick it old school, you will remain predictable. Excuse me? If you think you're the smartest thing in the room, you won't see the thing coming from above. An energetic key of Solomon. Yep. And you've been released. That's why your ears were clogging. Containing a storm isn't easy. Battle tactics, you're a martial artist. And you're a god of war. Looks like we do have common ground. And you're extending a sign of trust, showing your vulnerability. I've been incredibly bold this entire conversation. You could have lashed out and made mincemeat of me at any point, and yet you didn't. Which says to me that you've approached me genuinely. Are you that comfortable, or are you just daft? Both of those conclusions assume that I have a sense of self-preservation. I live for this shit. That's how I know I'm still alive. So you're fucking insane. Clinically, so, I don't need a demon to tell me that. Oh, I like you. So, did I pass the test or what? With flying colors. The following is a recreation of a conversation previously held. Oh, King Beer. I'm pulling the plug. Excellent visual, but what? I told Bael to get fucked. Okay, but why? Bael is a good demon and a good king, but he's very old school, and very harsh is an understatement. Okay, and are you not yourself? Oh, I am, but I know you, and I like you. Bael has neither quality, and that's why you told him to get fucked. Okay, Ethan, look at the situation you're in. You're living in a hotel. Your child is in the NICU. I think it would be better if you were working with people who give a shit about you instead of starting new lessons and new missions. And King Bael probably disagreed, which is why you told him to get fucked. He has done nothing wrong by you. He's not an enemy. I just don't think that now is the time. Honestly, I'm not in a position to disagree. Well, hang on, wait. Really? Oh good, you unclenched your butthole. My apologies. That means you heard me fart. I've got respect for King Bael simply by the fact he's a demon. A demon king, no less. But I don't know him. Personally, he means nothing to me. My real life, my kids, and my shade do. And you clearly know more than you're letting on. Is it that obvious?
You're not exactly subtle.
Was that on camera? Shay saying, again, you're not exactly subtle? I don't know. But it is now. Consider it a testament of how well you know me. I know I sensationalize these interaction videos. I have a lot of fun doing them. They're my favorite content to make. And they are a glimpse into my magical practice. But my mundane life comes before my spiritual life every single time. I'm glad you're saying that out loud. Have you talked to Nema? Yes. Have you talked to Paimon? Yes. Have you talked to your brother? Yes, yeah. Sorry, was that a little bit of salt that I tasted? My issues with Samael are not my issues with you. Okay, fair. I also talked to Lilith. Oh? She knows what you've been concocting. Well, I would hope so. I've been exchanging notes with her. Ah, I think I see what's going on. Do you think it's a bad idea? Only if you don't do it right. Oh, I plan on making more space for you in this book, which reminds me. I'm pretty sure I'm done fucking with the heavenly host. That's a big step for you. I fucks with the infernal. Angels complicate things. No offense. I might be an angel, but I'm fallen. So no offense taken. Got it. Is the serpent growing on you? Only for the bit. I wind up inhaling a lot of carbonation. Did you anticipate this? I anticipated something, but I'm not upset where we landed either. Reasons why I like you.